those kind of the binaries that we're forced into, which involve acting a certain way that might not be true, might not be fulfilling, might be involved in a whole lot of other repressions and oppressions about who we are in society, end up being the fact that it's mostly men who commit crimes, murder women. So that's when the binary kind of fulfills its prophecy, in a sense.
Okay, so but let's take your situation. So beautiful solo mum, beautiful, very warm, incredibly inclusive in the world, right? In your life, and as it turns out,
sounds like a great
your two children are boys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they've been brought up in an environment of inclusion, diversity, live in Fitzroy.
But at the same time, do you want to go on, or should I correct you later?
Correct me later.
Okay.
So from my point of view, there's nothing there that's being repressed in their identity or their gender or the idea of a binary or the idea of a sexual preference or any of that stuff is being repressed. In fact, what I see in having known you for 4 years is entirely the opposite of that.
I
Break the shackles
of that.
saying,
Mum, I've got to tell you, I think I might be heterosexual.
There you go. Did that happen today?
No. Because he's changed. He's pansexual
right,
now.
Pansexual. So these are kids who have been brought up in this huge palette of opportunity to be whoever they want to be, right?
Yeah, but I don't think that's entirely true, because I can't fight the system. You know, they're still entering a world in which mum is feeling anxious and insecure when she goes out because she's a solo mum and she's 50 and, you know, she's doing this and that, and her anxiety is affecting me, and, you know, sometimes we have to stay at home and we're not jumping off bridges and bungee trampolining and all of those sorts of things that would be, you know, some mums might be like that, and solo mums.
No, but where I'm coming to is that in the way that you've raised those
but
boys,
intellectually, but maybe not like emotionally and physically. So I think they've got the intellectual freedom to be that, but do they have, you know, kids are just feeling beings, aren't they? They're working through.
Okay. So I think you and I are agreeing here, because, you know, what I'm saying is that you have not had the capacity to match them physically at times.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that hasn't been something where you've gone out like other people that you know and just put on the armour and just taken on what it is that those boys need to do, right?
No.
You haven't done that. You've struggled with that, right? But somehow, innately, they've got that. You know, and that's why I do this wrestling and monster and all of these other highly physical things that they just laugh and squeal at, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just it brings up this whole issue of toxic masculinity and stuff like that. I think is a really tricky area.
Yeah, but I've never used the word toxic. Have I ever said toxic
gets used
masculinity?
A lot. It's used all the time.
I've never said that to you.
Oh, I don't know, but it gets used all the time. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, but
toxic masculinity.
To me, that's not
everything
helpful.
to do with being physical and stuff like that. Oh, that must be toxic masculinity.
But I think we're not. I mean, it's good to have this recorded, because I think I've never used that term, because I think it's reductive, and I don't think that's. I mean, you're an amazing guy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the idea of us having this conversation is very much because you're willing to have the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very interested in your perspective as well about shame and bringing men along on the journey, and, you know, I was coming from this sort of position of how do we as couples have a conversation about these things that are really happening, you know, in our community.
Yeah.
And the fact that it brings up all these other issues that we're thinking and feeling about ourselves and our, you know, how we raise children. And
yeah. Well, you know, one of the things that you and I've talked about is that, you know, I've experienced situations where women have been very negative about the physicality of boys and men.
Mm.
very negative about that. You know, that's, oh, we're heading in the wrong. You know,